By the time I got to the kids unit, I couldn't even get through the door because this kid kept ramming into it trying to escape. He was shirtless, 16, and his shoulder was already cut up and bleeding from hitting the door over and over and over again. And I just clocked in. I'm like, is this how I'm about to spend the next 8 hours? Maybe more, because God forbid if I get mandated for the next 8 hours. Yes, they could do that, and it was really for the new people. And because people quit all the time, even though I was there for over a year, I was still the new guy on deck. So I'm bargaining with him through the door. I'm like, yo, I'm trying to get on the unit. You got to calm down, man. What do you want, a snack? You want to sit and talk? He like, still ramming the door. I said, what if we go to the gym and play some basketball? All of a sudden, he stopped. He's just looking at me like. In the back of my mind, I'm like, but you over here trying to escape. So if I take you off the unit to get to this court, I don't know about that. But I got to, pick my battles, get on this unit first and foremost. But just trust the process, y'all. They called me the patient whisperer. So I said, you got to let me on the unit. So he backs up. I said, back up a little more, because I don't got time for no little, you know what I'm saying? So he backs up. I swipe to release the door so I could get in. And I said, okay, now we could probably go hooping a little bit, but I need you to calm down. Eyebrows like this. He just mad, breathing hard. So I said, come on, let's go in this room and talk. Other staff walking by looking bewildered. Like, how did he get him to stop running into the door? Because this kid can be very dangerous. He was wiry. He was pretty strong. When he got angry, it don't matter what kind of medication you gave him. It wouldn't affect him because he was in psych wards a lot. Now, he wasn't the best at articulating himself. He dealt with abuse and abandonment. He was a little developmentally delayed, but you couldn't really tell unless you spent a long time with him. So I asked him how come he was trying to escape. He was just like, cause I'm mad. And I'm like, well, why are you upset? Clearly this kid got 1,000 reasons to be upset, but the reason he gave me was not what I was expecting. He was like, cause my mom won't let me get my hair cut. He's been in the ward for over 2 weeks, mind you. And as I'm listening to him, he's talking about something that happened months ago. Mind you, he did need a haircut. So I said, hey, if I get permission from your mom to cut your hair, would you let me cut your hair? Because back in high school and college, I used to hook people up. $10 cuts, $20 cuts, line you up, you feel me? And he went from to kind of intrigued. He was like, yeah. So I get on the phone, call his moms. I'm like, hey, your son's been having a tough time on the unit. He's been ramming into the doors, things she's used to hearing. She's used to getting daily calls. So I could tell she was a little bit annoyed, like, what you want me to do? I said, hey, I think it would be beneficial to your son to get a fresh haircut. I have my clippers and my liners with me. With your permission, I'll give him a haircut. She hit me with the, oh, bless your heart, baby. Absolutely. So I come out to the kid. I'm like, yo, good news. Your mom says we can cut your hair. Had to get a few other staff members involved and some higher ups in order to sign off on that because can't just be coming up in. I mean, you could, but you run the risk if anything were to happen or if they were to grab the stuff and somebody gets hurt, we're liable. And we weren't trying to make that big of a deal. So we did what we needed to do, got permission, and I cut his hair. Lined him up and then had him go look in the mirror and bro was cheesing. Bro was in a good mood. He was walking around and he was on a 1-to-1, which means I have to be with him within arm's length at all times because he poses a danger to himself or others. And he was a flight risk. Boy, I tell you, every window, polished aluminum mirror we walk by, he is, checking himself out. So much so where he forgot about hooping because all he cared about was being seen. But I thought this kid is no different than any of us when you think about it, because a lot of times we might act out in ways that don't necessarily match the thing that we're mad about. And sometimes it takes a little bit of soul searching to make the connection of like, oh, I might be taking out my aggression on something or somebody that has nothing to do with solving the issue. Maybe you don't know how. And as a result, you could be doing damage to yourself. That self-awareness piece is key. All it took was a haircut. He didn't need any medications, PRNs for the whole week. It's the little things.